to
Back you went,
California.
yeah.
Yeah, just turned around.
How
and
long
went
did they
back.
train you?
Our training was perhaps 8 weeks. It was
So
a summer.
if somebody were to go in today, they'd better expect to go and get some specific training.
Yes, I don't know how long the training is. This was, I'm talking about 1961.
Okay,
This was
now
back
it's still
in the
going
Stone
though. The
Age.
program is still
Oh,
alive and well.
definitely.
61 was the year it started.
That's when it started. We were the first group who went anywhere, who went to work anywhere. We went to Ghana.
It's almost the 50th anniversary, isn't it?
Next year after next,
Yeah.
it's the 50th anniversary. That's right. And
Still going strong.
and
Are they
still
funding
going
it
strong.
well?
well, we'd like
Nixon
more.
didn't like it, you know. He said that's the Peace Corps is a haven for draft dodgers. That was his attitude. And he tried to cut the program.
Yeah, well, there have been lots of enemies, but fortunately we have more friends than
Well,
enemies.
we got rid of Nixon.
So-
You know,
Right.
instead of him getting rid of the Peace Corps,
We have about 7,000 volunteers in the field
currently,
right now.
currently,
Yes.
7,000 young
Yes.
people. They're mostly young people, aren't they?
Yes, mostly.
And
The oldest volunteer is 84,
that's not young.
and when I was in Nigeria, I was on the Peace Corps staff in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a volunteer who celebrated her 82nd birthday.
My
there.
God, she lived there apparently, huh?
Well, she went there as a Peace Corps volunteer, stayed for 2 years, and
She probably founded a senior center.
it could be. But 5% of volunteers are over age 50.
Oh,
So
really?
the rest are young.
Okay, well now
usually
this is
recent
not
college.
exactly draft age, so Nixon was off the beam, I'll tell you, on these folks.
Well, people, they have many reasons for joining the Peace Corps, and I'm sure there are some who would rather join the Peace Corps than be drafted at the time when there was a draft.
Well, Nixon
and,
was crazy. I can't even use the term, but we got rid of him.
We've had 195,000 Peace Corps volunteers who have returned to this country. I mean, you ask in any crowd of people, anybody have been in the Peace Corps, and you'll probably find one or two, because there are lots of us.
All of whom have had a very rich experience. Now, what do Peace Corps people do? You taught.
I taught, and everybody in my group were teaching in secondary schools.
And you taught English, probably.
Yes, the national language of Ghana is English.
Oh, okay.
They were a British colony until 1957, and they chose English as their national language, which every once in a while somebody says, why are we speaking this foreign, the colonial language?
Ubangi, we should be speaking something else, huh?
Right. But there are so many language groups in Ghana that if they chose one of them, then everybody else would be annoyed, and that would
they might
not
have
be a
50
solution.
different languages. That would be a fun
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Can
So-
you see its direction signs in 50 languages?
So they use English, and everybody who goes to school learns English. They're
Do they?
supposed to have learned it by grade 3, and speaking it in the classroom after 3rd grade. And so, and one of the things that we check when they want to come to secondary school, they have an interview, and the main purpose of the interview is to see how well they speak English.
Okay, we got a phone call. That means a phone call.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Okay. Are Peace Corps Americans welcome in most nations?
They only go if they are requested.
Oh, they got to be called.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There you go.
Oh,
We never go anywhere that they
They
haven't
don't just
invited
barge in and
us.
say,
No.
you need help here.
Right,
they call us, huh?
right. And we do have people who go to the countries. We've been in 139 countries so far, and there are a few more left that we haven't been to. But we have people who go there, or the U.S. ambassador might talk to them about the possibility of having a Peace Corps, but they have to actually agree and invite us to come and decide what they want us to do as well.
Okay, does that answer your question, caller?
yep.
Okay, well,
Very
thank you.
good.
Send me a stamped self-addressed envelope. I'll send you a whole bunch of gifts.
Terrific.
I'll give you 2 Big Macs today.
Okay.
Thanking McDonald's, and I'll give you $5 off over at the Lakeview restaurant, and it's also good at the fish house next door, the docks. You can pull right up and dock there, almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
That's a fancy one.
Yeah. Okay, thank you,
Okay.
caller.
Uh-huh.
And first caller, I guess. No, she was second caller.
second one,
First
yeah.
caller gets $5 off at Tops Supermarket, Tops Friendly Supermarket.
not bad,
How
not
about
bad.
that? Can you beat
Yeah.
it? Alice O'Grady, talking about the Peace Corps, her experience, and the fact that it is still a functioning organization. You too can join the Peace Corps and make a change in your life, as well as hopefully a change in thousands of lives if you're doing the job. What else do they do now besides teaching?
Okay, 35% are in education of
Okay,
some sort.
teach.
And when I was on the staff in Nigeria, we had some teachers who were in the university. They were teaching in the School of Drama, as I recall. Then health and HIV/AIDS workers, 21% of our volunteers now are working in that area.
In HIV and
Right,
health.
in health.
Now, HIV is rampant in some parts of Africa.
Yes,
And
yes it is.
what do they do for it? I mean, HIV is...
Well, I think first of all they have to make people aware of methods of prevention, like using condoms and so on, and let them know that it is a real threat, and then try to get the drugs.
which are
to-
very
to treat
expensive,
them,
$25,000 a year for the cocktail in the United States.
Yeah, I don't know what it
over
costs
there.
them, but
But
it's
some
terrible, yeah.
China said, we're going to just make our own. Hell with you. You know?
right. Well, if they can do it. Business development is the next one. There are 15% of people who are helping businesses to organize themselves. And the environment is also 15% of people. I know that there's some I think in Ghana, a tree planting program, which is a relief because the last time I was back in Ghana, the forest was virtually gone. They had cut it down for timber. And so I hope they replant that forest. Youth programs are 5%, agriculture is 5%. So not a lot of us are working in agriculture, which is kind of surprising. And other is 4%.
Okay, others could be almost anything. Huh?
Yeah.
Digging wells, maybe.
Digging wells, yeah.
We got a phone
Baby
call.
care,
You
whatever.
want to take a phone call?
Sure.
Hey, good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning. First of all, on health care you were talking about,
Yeah.
I have Canadian friends that say never let the government do that. That Canadian health care is horrible. They hate it.
Yeah. I've got a Canadian friend who says it's a boon, though. It saved their lives.
He said he would rather, they said they would rather pay New York taxes than what they have to pay in Canada. He said, you guys pay nothing compared to us.
Well, actually, when you figure in the $12,000 a year your health care costs, it's a hell of a tax, buddy.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what it costs for the average family, you know, $12,000 for the
Well-
insurance companies who cream off a third of that immediately.
well, how much is the government? I mean, if you want the government to run your health care, tell me
They
how.
do already. You know, over 50% of our government of our people are under government health care. Medicaid, Medicare, Veterans Administration.
Yeah, and they run those real good, don't they?
They do pretty well. I'm alive and well. I've been on Medicare for a long time.
Well, they don't run Amtrak very good, and they're not doing very
Well,
good with
this
Social
is not
Security.
Amtrak, sir. This is a hospital. I agree with you, but you know what? Amtrak is a hell of a lot better than it was about 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, okay.
It's a lot better, although they haven't increased the schedules. But there's a thing called Magic Bus, Mega Bus, which you can get out of Buffalo. And what they do is give you a ticket based on the time you come in. The first tickets are $1 a piece.
Wow.
Then they go up to 10, then to 20, and I went in at 30, and then by the time I decided to take the tickets, it was up to 50. But that's for 2 people, one way to Penn Station.
Well, I was going to take Amtrak about 8 years ago, but then I found out it was all totally non-smoking, so we canceled.
Well, they stop and let you smoke on the pier. But
Well, yeah, well, great. I'm going to pay money for that. But
you
anyhow,
can bring a smoking bag, you know.
yeah.
I smoke too, but we usually step off here and there. In the meantime, Amtrak has improved considerably. They're much cleaner. They're much more attentive. The schedules are tighter. They used to be running. You better figure 4 to 8 hours extra. And you may have a hell of a layover too somewhere. But we took it for years out of Erie to Penn Station. It wasn't that bad, and the price was right compared to even buses.
Well, that's another story. I guess.
Okay, back to health care.
Hey,
As you can see, I think our health care system stinks, and it needs a hell of a lot of reform. And the only way we're going to get it is we got to ram this thing through, because the Republicans are insisting on telling us they're going to set up concentration camps and kill you and me and all seniors.
Well, I've got really good health insurance, and it's real reasonable, and I'm really happy with it.
How old are you?
How old am I? 60.
Well, you got 5 years before you get Medicare.
Yeah. Well, hey, anyhow, I called today
Uh-huh.
to remind everybody with a boat that today is the 3rd annual Canal Fest in Hartfield, right off the
Canal
Mount.
Fest?
Yeah, it's right off
That's down the old boat basin. Who ran that for years?
No. This is in the bay in Hartfield, right off the big inlet.
Okay.
Where
Well, Topsy's used to be on a canal.